This week on Previews World Weekly, Hellboy Day, Avengers Endgame, and Superman Year One. Check it out, it's happening right now. What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday, it's New Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. I am one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
And I'm Thea, and we're here every week to remind you guys to stop at a comic shop and get involved in the world of comics.
And last week's episode was like a thin one, admittedly.
Yes.
So we got a big old one for you today, guys. And we're going to mix it up a little bit, some different stuff. But I also wanted to point out, like, we missed some big news last week.
Yes.
In the larger comic book sphere, not particularly comic books, but just some cool stuff happened. Number one being, Marvel's doing a What If series for Disney Plus, which is cool, unless you were actually not considering getting Disney Plus, and now you have to, like myself.
Oops.
Yeah, like it was like the final nail in the coffin. I was like very much on the fence.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this is like, I kind of want to see this. Yeah. Also, there's a Batman TMNT trailer, which I know you said looked cool.
Yes, it looks super cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, we talked a little bit about the crossover at one point, and it just, they were doing a really good job. The animation is great, like, and the story itself, like having those two parties crossing over.
Right. It's perfect. Yeah, well, we've talked about it's just like the weird, I guess, like the urban legends, like kind of coming together. For some reason, it just fits. Like, you know, these two, and they're also kind of dark characters.
Them city folks.
Them city folks. There you go. Right. One thing that did happen, like, and I'm seeing people kind of having mixed feelings about it. Ezra Miller, who plays Flash, or played Flash. Is he still playing Flash? I guess we'll find out soon.
We don't know. There's been,
Yeah, like he kind of threw the gauntlet down, and he said, like, you know, I'm either out, or we're gonna make this Flash move the way I want to make it. So they're bringing in Grant Morrison, and the thing about this is people are emphasizing more the Ezra Miller thing. Yeah. But the Grant Morrison thing's kind of cool. Yeah. And like I see people fretting a little bit, but I'm like, Grant Morrison's Flash is like his thing. Like, he loves the Flash, so I'm really curious about how that's going to turn out. And now more than ever, I want to see this movie get made. And of course, Avengers Endgame. Yeah. What did you think? You saw the last trailer?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And I mean, I'm excited for it as a concept. I don't particularly care about the trailers, honestly, because I just want to see it.
Right.
But I mean, whatever.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, they're holding back.
Trailers are trailers, right?
Trailers are trailers.
But I think that the fact that they're holding back is good.
Yeah.
Because they also know that they don't have to show us anything. We're all going to be in those theaters, in those seats, right?
Yeah,
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. I was weak and I watched the trailer. Like, I kept saying, like, no, I'm done after this trailer, after the last trailer, the trailer before that. I ended up watching it. And like, But I am happy. I heard some people saying they were disappointed. I'm happy that they're withholding.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, what do you want? You want to see Thanos, like, kill people again? Like, what do you want out of the trailer?
What do you want out of it?
So
watch the movie.
I'm on board, of course. Like, and I think most of the world's on board at this point. I don't think it's a no-brainer.
Of course.
So I just want to point out some of that stuff because I felt it was pretty big and worthy of, like, noting. And but we're a comic show.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about some comics. And Anna Mia is here, and she's going to show us some of the titles that have hit comic shelves this week. Check it out.
Hey Previews World! Every week we give you the rundown on some of the books hitting the shelves for the first time. Here's what's at comic shops this week. And we're just getting started. The world of comics has even more to offer, so stop at a shop already, and you might just find your new favorite thing. See ya!
Thanks, Mia. Another great lineup, and of course, that's only a little bit of what's out this week. If you want to see what the full list is, head on over to previewsworld.com/new releases to see what we've got. What are you looking forward to?
You and I actually had to, like, we were of the same mind on this one,
Yes,
right? Spider-Man life story.
Very cool.
So a lot of people, so it's Chip Zdarsky and it's Mark Bagley. And Chip Zdarsky last year had a spectacular Spider-Man run that everybody loved. And a lot of people were really upset when he like pulled the plug on it.
Yeah.
And they were like, why?
But why?
Right. It turns out it was for this project. At least I'm assuming it was for this project. Pretty much he's not done Spider-Man. And on top of that, it's Mark Bagley, who is probably one of the, Bagley draws the most quintessential Spider-Man. Like, you know, he's in that echelon. He's in the same category as Romita Jr. and Todd McFarlane, and yeah, he's the Spider-Man artist that you want. Yes. And the cool thing about this is it's Spider-Man's life story, happening happening alongside actual world events,
like real time, essentially.
Right. And so, for example, the first issue is going to focus on Flash Thompson getting pulled into the Vietnam War, which actually happened in the comics in the '60s. Yeah. And the next issue will be in the '70s, and the issue after will be in the '80s. So,
and so on and so forth.
Ambitious project.
Ambitious for sure.
Yeah.
But conceptually, really, really cool.
Right. Yeah.
The idea that we get to see the actual time progression from when he was a 15-year-old boy and all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
As opposed to just him being perpetually
in
a young person,
20s slash 30s, kind of maybe. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. I think everybody should check that out. So what else are you looking forward to?
I'm looking at Invisible Kingdom #1. So of course the cover caught my eye right quick.
Right. Yeah.
It's got a lot of Sandman going on.
Yeah, it actually does. Yeah.
But it's a sci-fi book, and it's from Dark Horse, and it takes place in a far-off star system where a young religious acolyte and a hard-bitten freighter pilot both discover that there's a conspiracy between the religious leader of the society and the mega corporation that controls them. And they have to sort of figure that out and what it means, and they're both women, and I'm assuming they're going to cross paths at one point and have to team up.
Right. And also, for those who are interested, it is G. Willow Wilson. This is kind of her return to something a little bit more creator-owned. She, of course, created Kamala Khan from Marvel, and she's done other stuff. She did a really good book called Air for Vertigo a few years ago, and don't quote me on this, but I think this is her teaming back up with Vertigo editor Karen Berger, because this is the Berger Books line. So definitely check it out.
Yes,
it's
super cool.
Very curious to see what she's, how she'll handle a creator-owned book now, once again.
For sure.
Also out this week, Blessed Machine, which is from a new company called Cave Pictures Publishing. And that cover, I always joke, like, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but you can kind of judge comic books by their cover.
For sure, yeah.
So, and like that cover just instantly caught my attention. And like the solicitation, it's very much a high concept sci-fi thing. It's basically about this kid who's trying to convince all the other people on this planet that, like, pretty much convince everyone else that Earth is inhabitable again. And so it's taking place under very much a post-apocalyptic backdrop, and yeah,
I don't like it at all.
Right, yeah. And so it's like, it's mysterious. And like, if the artwork is any indication, it's gonna be a little dark and a little creepy and a lot of fun. So yeah, check them out, Cave Pictures Publishing. And yeah, I'm curious to see what else they have going on. So that'd be interesting.
Very cool.
What else are you looking forward to?
Well, Hellboy Day is coming up quick, right?
Yes,
so I'm looking at the old BPRD, The Devil You Know. We're on issue 14. And it's good old Mike Mignola and the crew there, and we've got the final battle to save humanity, and it's basically Hellboy rejoins the BPRD after 17 years having been away, and
I love that cover. That cover's really nice too.
I love it.
It's
beautiful.
Yeah.
Hellboy makes me happy.
I love that. Hellboy makes me happy. That's really good. Like you pointed out, Hellboy Day is this weekend. So definitely kind of keep an eye out for number 14, but there's also going to be a bunch of stuff that your local comic shop is going to be just giving away. So make sure who is participating and participate in Hellboy Day. And of course, the movie's coming out in another month, so there is that. Also out this week, there's a Teen Titans book called Terminus Agenda, and it's Christopher Priest and Adam Glass teaming up to write this, which is kind of, honestly, it sounds like they're trying to do the definitive Teen Titans Deathstroke story, outside of Judas Contract.
For sure.
I mean, like, this is really building on the history of these characters all together, and they're pretty much trying to take down Deathstroke. They've had enough. They're pissed off.
The time has come. Bye.
Right, yeah. And I think it's interesting because immediately when I read the solicitation for that, I was sort of like, okay, but these are the Teen Titans. So how ugly is this going to get? And like the indication in the solicitation is it's going to get ugly. Yeah, so if you're a fan of Teen Titans Go, I don't know if this is going to be the book, the book for you, but if you're a fan of like just classic Titans, this is probably one to check out.
Absolutely.
Also this week, I did that backwards.
I was just going to let you roll with it. But.
Okay. Also this week, Lazarus Risen from Greg Rucka. It's a continuation of the Image series, a very popular Image series. It's also him and Michael Lark teaming up again. He and Michael Lark did Gotham Central. So definitely check that out. Also, it's 64 pages.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they're going to pack a lot into this, and I think it's going to consistently be 64 pages.
Well
so
then.
There you go.
Interesting.
I'm sorry I took your Teen Titans from you.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll fight you later.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. That's not fair because you know Tai Chi. I can't do that. I just know pizza.
I'll fight you very slowly.
Okay. So on that note, definitely check those books out. And now we're going to kick it over to news, and I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to let Thea talk. So here we go. Here's stuff that's going on in the world of comics in the last 7 days.
The Silver Surfer will return this June in Silver Surfer Black, a miniseries. When we last saw the Silver Surfer, he was blown into a black hole along with more of the galaxy's best defenders in Guardians of the Galaxy. But no story is ever truly over in the Marvel Universe, and Donny Cates is bringing the Sentinel of the Spaceways back in his own solo miniseries. This June, Cates will be joined by artist Chad Moore for Silver Surfer Black.
I'm going to need Donny Cates to like tone it down a little bit.
Oh.
Like I'm at a point now, I'm getting into the habit where I'm buying like about 4 or 5 Marvel books, which is like, it's like late 90s Troy, like, you know, but I don't want to miss anything about this because I have no confirmation on this, but I get the impression that he's telling an opus. And so from Thanos Wins to Cosmic Ghost Rider to Guardians of the Galaxy to this, I feel like all this stuff is going to tie in together at some point, and like I'm enjoying it so much that I don't want to miss it. So I'm going to add Silver Surfer Black to the list and see what happens.
All the goods.
All the goods.
Next up, Second Coming, a series from writer Mark Russell and artist Richard Pace, has found a new publisher, Ahoy Comics. The series was previously solicited by DC, and DC decided to cancel the release following a wave of backlash from online critics who labeled the book as blasphemous. The New York Times originally reported the news of the move to Ahoy, which began publishing comics in September of 2018. The 32-page comic is centered on Jesus returning to Earth and teaming up with a superhero named Sunman to complete his most holy mission by God and learn what it takes to be the true Messiah of mankind. Second Coming will be available to pre-order in a future previews catalog and is expected to arrive in comic shops this summer.
Yeah.
It seems pretty interesting.
It does seem pretty interesting.
And definitely controversial subject matter.
Definitely controversial.
And you bring religion into anything, you know, pop culture-y, and people sort of go,
what?
How dare you?
Yeah.
But it's simultaneously bringing it to the masses. In a digestible way.
I think that's good. In a digestible way, right? And like, yeah, I saw a lot of people lamenting like the removal or cancellation of the book from DC. Yeah. But I didn't really see a lot of people criticizing, which made me think that like I don't think comic book people were really all that upset about it.
Probably not.
It was just coming from the outside, you know.
Yes. Inevitably.
Inevitably.
That's absolutely what I thought. I didn't think that comic readers or writers or anybody was like thinking that this was a bad idea. It's absolutely the religious people's on the outside world.
Right.
You know, it has to be their way or the highway.
Right. Well, and I think like, you know, you got to give these books a chance. Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, like they're operating off of an assumption. Yeah. You know, and who knows how this story's going to end out, how it's going to play out, or any of that stuff.
For sure.
And I just want to point out, Ahoy Comics is the same company that does Bronze Age Boogie, and they're also doing Wrong Earth, which I've recommended a million times here. And ironically enough, because the book was originally intended to be part of Second Coming, was originally intended to be part of the Vertigo line. It just so happens that a lot of the editors and writers over at that company, Ahoy, are former Vertigo people. So it's a good fit.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And I'm just glad that the book is allowed to exist.
Me too.
You know?
Absolutely. So. And like I said, even if it's a religion that you don't believe in or whatever, it gives you a taste of it. It gives you, you know, the idea.
Yeah.
Which is not harmful at all.
Yeah. New angle. It's all good.
For sure. Next, we have the ultimate superhero crossover event of 2019 in Black Hammer and Justice League Hammer of Justice. Black Hammer co-creator Jeff Lemire and artist Michael Walsh joined forces to bring the heroes of Metropolis to the Black Hammer farm. In this 5-issue series, a strange man arrives simultaneously on the Black Hammer farm and in Metropolis. Both worlds are warped as Starro attacks. Batman, Green Lantern, The Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman, and more cross over with Golden Gale, Colonel Weird, and the rest of the Black Hammer gang. The first issue of Black Hammer Justice League Hammer of Justice goes on sale July 10th.
That's really interesting. I'm very curious because those Black Hammer characters are kind of like, I won't say they're copies of, but like, you know, they're
little bizarro.
They're kind of meant to be bizarro versions of
Yeah.
the Justice League in a lot of ways. And Jeff Lemire is really unpacking like the mythology of superhero comics,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, very interesting
here
to see
for
how they pair off.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Next up, Dark Horse Comics and Critical Role are proud to announce 3 new projects set to release in 2019. Based on epic tales from the world of Exandria, these new comics, art books, and more will explore this universe in new and original ways. The most popular digital tabletop game in the world, Critical Role is live streamed every week and set in Exandria. In each episode, veteran voice actor and game master Matt Mercer leads his nerdy ass and wildly entertaining friends, who are also fellow voice actors, on a thrill ride of turmoil and adventure. On July 10th, Dark Horse and Critical Role release Critical Role Vox Machina Origins Series 2, Number 1, which finds the unlikely heroes of Vox Machina back in action-packed yet absurdly entertaining adventures. And due to popular demand, they'll also release a trade paperback collection of Critical Role Vox Machina Origins Series 1 on October 15th. This 168-page collection tells the story of how Vox Machina first met. Additionally, in late 2019, Dark Horse and Critical Role will release Critical Role The Chronicles of Exandria, The Mighty Nine. This gorgeous hardcover art collection contains materials presented chronologically from the first few story arcs of the Mighty Nine campaign. So, if you're a huge Critical Role fan, keep these dates in mind to get your hands on all these great books. It's some seriously solid-looking material.
Yeah, actually, the artwork, again, like some great cover art. And I'm not that familiar with Critical Role. I've definitely heard about it just because I'm in, you know, the geekosphere.
Right, the nerd circle.
Right, yeah.
Me too. I haven't watched any of it, but I did know, and I don't really know Matt Mercer as a voice actor, honestly, but I found out basically what it is because he met one of my favorite celebrity birds at a convention.
Okay.
Because I'm a crazy bird lady, and I love birds. So I follow a lot of celebrity birds on social media, and one of them is Cody the lovebird. And then Cody was really excited to go to this, well, Cody's handler, let's say, was excited to go to this convention.
Yeah.
And they tweeted that Cody was excited to meet one of their favorite celebrities, Matt Mercer. And then Matt responded that he was excited to meet Cody, and then there's this great picture of Matt Mercer holding Cody the lovebird, looking like it's the best day of his life.
So wait, why is he a celebrity bird? Because
it's like how anything becomes popular on the internet, right?
Okay,
So his handler has, I guess they're called birdism.
Okay.
But they're about rehabilitation of birds and conservation of birds and treating birds right and having pet birds properly and that sort of thing. And Cody himself is a special needs bird and things like that. So yeah, there's that. And there are a couple of other birds that just have like viral videos and stuff too. So they're celebrity birds.
Huh. Moving on. Fair enough. He wants to talk about birds.
I love birds.
Anyway.
And finally, this June, legendary creators Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. will share their definitive origin story for the Man of Steel in Superman Year 1 from DC's Black Label. Beginning with the release of large-format periodicals in the months of June, August, and October, the complete story will be available for collection in bookstores everywhere this coming November. Superman Year 1 is a coming-of-age story for the future Man of Steel, featuring a young alien boy just trying to find his place in the new world. Told by two of the most revered voices in comics, it's more than a superhero story. It's about the choices made by Clark Kent on his path to becoming a legend. It's a testament to the importance of choosing to become a hero. Superman Year 1, Number 1 will be available in comic shops on June 19th.
Yeah, I guess just some lighter material for Frank Miller because typically he goes a little dark.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how he handles it.
Right, and I mean it's the Black Label, so I mean maybe it will get a little dark. Who knows?
Maybe.
But
it doesn't really sound it.
Right. Yeah. I think people assumed that the DC Black Label was going to be all like edgelord stuff.
Edgelord stuff.
But
Accurate.
I mean that's not. I don't think that was originally the intention. It
No.
was originally the intention of just giving creators an opportunity to tell out of continuity stories. Right. Yeah. So
for sure.
Yeah, I think it sounds really interesting. I'm very curious about it. This is a nice reunion between those two as well. They did Daredevil and Man Without Fear years ago.
Absolutely.
And this is a nice reunion. So I'm very curious what's going to come out of that. So that's just some of the stuff that's going on in the world of news. You can check out our website on a daily basis as well, Monday through Friday. I don't want to lie to you. Just go to PREVIEWSworld.com/latest news and find out what's going on in the world of comics. And now we're going to kick it over to Natasha, and she's going to show us what's going on in the world of Previews Toy Chest.
Hey Previews World! Here is this week's rundown of some of the toys, statues, and collectibles hitting store shelves for the first time. Let's take a look inside the Previews toy chest for the week of March 20th, 2019. And our new show, Talking Toys, has even more to offer, where we show you what hot new collectibles are on their way to your local comic shop. Check it out at previewsworld.com/talkingtoys. And as for me, I'll see you back here next week.
And thanks, Natasha. That is the Previews toy chest, and of course you can check her out on Talking Toys every week. The Spider-Man, the gold Spider-Man, what was it, the Marvel Studios 10th anniversary Spider-Man Pop.
There you go.
There you go.
Got it out.
Some of these things have like really long names, I have to admit. I have a little Funko story to tell. It just so happens that like I was at Emerald City Comic Con like pretty much most of last week, and we're going to show you some pictures of that later because we got some cool cosplay photos like during the time there. But there was a Funko booth there, and so you know, as an exhibitor, you have to be there early, right? And I was like setting up our booth, like, you know, me and some of the other people who work for Previews, and we just heard this rush of people, like this low rumble all of a sudden, and like they told us that the doors were opening. Yeah, right, yeah, exactly, right. It was just like a herd, and it was everyone rushing to get to the Funko booth.
My God.
Because they were looking for exclusives, and like that line never thinned out. Like it was just around the corner. And a matter of fact, I got a call from one of my friends who was asking for, you know, for some exclusives. I was like, "There's no way I'm going to get over there in time." But you know, he PayPal'd me some money, and he was like, "Can you get these 4 for me?" So I was like, "All right, fine." So, yeah, Funko's a real thing.
It's true. It is nuts.
It's nuts, and I know you know because like
you've
seen. Yeah. I'm sure you've seen some of the excitement around Funkos in real time.
We've had to like put some rules in place where I work to prevent people from getting nutso.
Really? Like what? Like just
like when we release stuff and when we can tell people that we're releasing stuff. Because people will just be like lurking.
Just hanging out at the gate waiting for you to.
Yeah, like nope, let's not play this game.
No, let's
And then we have like 1 or 2 customers that come in and will buy like every one of a specific pop that we have. And I don't really know what they're doing with them, honestly, but
they're probably flipping them.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, or who knows, you know, could be anything, but we definitely have a couple customers that are like, okay, you have any more of these? Oh, you have like 20? Cool, I'll take them all.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much. I mean, no, but it's a real thing, and like I will not get in the way of the Funko booth ever.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's scary. Danger zone.
We saw a lot of Batman this week, and it just so happens that we neglected to give away our Harley Joker DC collectible. So our bad.
Sorry. So but here we are.
Well, we did give it away, but we didn't announce the winner.
We didn't announce who it was.
So who actually won that?
So our nice friend Michael Hughes. You are the winner.
Yeah.
And he responded by saying that his favorite Joker and Harley storyline, well, I've got to give props to Batman the Animated Series where it all began, but my favorite storyline's got to be White Knight. I don't want to give anything away, but Murphy doesn't pull any punches.
Interesting. Okay, that's interesting. I need to read that book. I keep forgetting to read that book. There's just so much stuff out there, and I was knee deep in Batman Damned, but Batman White Knight, definitely check it out. And we're getting a direct market exclusive for that, so yeah, go for it. So we're gonna normally this is where we would do Social Swamp, but we are going to do Social Swamp, but we're going to do something a little different. If you've been following us on social media, you probably have noticed that we didn't do a call to action like we normally do, and that's because we got some fan art. And we wanted to highlight it. So check this out. Something a little different for Social Swamp this week.
So a fan of ours on Instagram has drawn some pretty cool little comic panels
Yeah.
of him watching us on the show.
Yeah.
He goes by the Gray Goat with underscores in there.
Right, yeah.
And that's just sort of cool to be appreciated.
Yeah,
right,
yeah. I mean, it's like I think in terms of things I didn't ever consider that would actually happen. It's cool. You know, someone gave us fan art, so that's kind of cool, right? And yeah, so I mean, I actually made me curious because he drew him watching us via his smartphone, and it makes me wonder. Like, actually curious, like how do most of you guys watch the show? Actually, like, do you watch it on your smartphone? Do you watch it on your TV? Typically, when it comes to YouTube, I kind of do a little bit of both.
Right. Or your computer.
Or a
whatever.
computer, right? Yeah. So
there are so many screens to be had nowadays.
Right, there really are. Yeah. So yeah, like yeah, thank you to the Gray Goat.
The Gray Goat.
The Gray Goat.
Yes.
And
Nate.
yeah, keep them coming. Like, yeah, like keep throwing some fan art at us. Like, let us know what's up. And you know, it doesn't even have to necessarily be us. You know, it could be
whatever.
You know, we talk about comics. Like, you know, shoot us some fan art and like we can feature on the show, and that could be another addition to our Social Swamp segment.
Sure.
So
It's a great idea.
yeah, I
we
think
want to
that'd be
see
cool.
what you guys are into, what you guys do.
Yeah. So we're almost done, but we do have to do a shout out for Comic Shop, but this one's also going to be a little bit different because it just so happens that this is the 25th anniversary of Hellboy,
Yes.
and Hellboy Day is this Saturday. And we mentioned earlier, Thea picked the Hellboy BPRD comic, but we mentioned earlier that there's going to be a bunch of giveaways.
Yep.
And on top of that, like, you know, your local comic shop has exclusives that they're going to be getting as well.
For
so
sure.
definitely check that out. I know Seed of Destruction, #1, which is the first book that they printed of Hellboy, which is actually the book that's getting its 25th anniversary technically, is getting like an exclusive version this week. So definitely check that out. And we actually sat across from Dark Horse at the Emerald City Comic Con, and they were giving away cool little prints that had a timeline of Hellboy history in it.
Nice.
And if you know anything about Hellboy, like, you know, it stretches back to the Second World War, and like, you know, you get like a lot of little details in between with the BPRD in the 50s and the 60s, et cetera, et cetera. So it was really cool to see.
Very nice.
But we're going to give away some Hellboy Omnibus.
We are.
Omnibuy.
Omnibuy.
Omnibuy, right.
A bundle of Omnibuy.
A bundle of Omnibuy. So
Bundle.
how can people win in time for Hellboy Day?
So we want to know what you guys are going to be doing for Hellboy Day. Well, that just came out of my mouth in a mess. We want to know what you guys are doing for Hellboy Day. Let us know on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching us, and we could pick one of you guys to win the bundle of Omnibuy.
Yeah, the bundle of Omnibuy. And also, actually, check out there's a Mike Mignola interview on our website where he actually talks about the 25th anniversary and, like, you know, all the things it encompasses and, like, you know, his feels on the subject. So yeah, celebratory time. And then, of course, we mentioned this before, Hellboy the movie drops in another month. So, you know, it's a two months worth of just like Hellboy, like, you know, the celebration of that character who's been very integral to the world of comics. So
very true. He's good. We also have the winner from the giveaway for our Captain Marvel video that we had last week.
All right.
So we asked who was paying attention, right?
Yeah.
To see who could tell us what Carol Danvers' job title was at NASA. And our winner is Damian Jarvis Jr. on YouTube, and he knew that her title was Chief Security Officer. So you win the bundle of Captain Marvel. Were they trades?
Yeah, it was like basically like all the essential books that Gretchen had highlighted in last week's video. So yeah. So congratulations to you. And so that's actually it for us. Instead of doing comic shop shout out and a bunch of images from a local comic store, what we're going to do is show you some cosplay from Emerald City, because I snapped a bunch of photos, and like some of them were like hilarious, and there was a few that I didn't even get a chance to do. Like, we were joking about Ace Ventura. There was a guy walking around in the tutu as Ace Ventura. I did get a chance to get a picture of him because I was just so amused by the image itself.
I'm so glad he's coming back.
Yeah, there you go. Right, yeah, bring back Ace Ventura. It's great. So that's it for this episode of Previews World Weekly. I am Troy Allen,
and I'm Thea, and we'll see you at the spinner rack.
Watching Previews World Weekly. If you like the show, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future episodes.